move on to the arm springs and the leg springs. For the arm springs, we set the springs up, the leg springs, on the lowest of the low eye bolts. Turn around, set yourself up out on the reformer. Now you've got to help the student find where this position is. Ideally, the shoulders are directly under the wrists, but not everyone has the strength to work the springs at that level. So it's okay to adjust the springs to the strength of the student. Deepening the abs, reaching long through the arms, reach. We pull the arms straight down, open the collarbones, and then let the springs bring the arms up. Pull as you work the right and left evenly, keeping the wrists neutral. Ribs stay down, pelvis stays quiet, spine is straight, quiet. And one more time, arms stay all the way straight, springs are quiet, and we come up for the circle, circling wide out and around. We circle into the powerhouse first. Fingers are long, springs are quiet, nothing moving except the arms. One more time and we'll reverse, keep steady pressure on the springs. We move down and away from the powerhouse now, moving the humerus, keeping the ribs still, the spine still, the pelvis still. So this is really a great strength and isolation exercise, working as wide as you can. Triceps, bending the elbows. Most students will move back here. And Catherine, why don't you show a more advanced setup? We've been demonstrating with the knees bent. Let's take the legs out long on the reformer, all the way out. So feet long and in the center line, and then keeping the low back on the mat. Press the palms flat, elbows stay down, and let the arms come up. The elbows stay close in by the body without moving away. We resist the pull of the springs up. The ribs stay flat. Again, the neck, the jaw, the ribs soft. One more time, and that's it for the arm series. Let's take a look now at the leg spring series. There are 3 eye bolts at the bottom. If we work from the top eye bolt, we get a little more resistance as we press down on the springs, but we get a little more assistance with the weight of our legs being carried. So think about that as you set your students up. A student with very heavy legs or very strong legs will use the top setting. A student who is weaker in their legs or wants to have more challenge of holding their own legs in space will work farther away. The thumbs and fingers are together. The arms are long and the elbows are wrapped in. The wrap of the elbows helps to depress the ribs. The sacrum is flat and the feet are up for frog. We press out in the distance and let the springs bring us in. The knees frame the body so they don't fly out wide, they just come just to the armpits. The feet move out and in as though they're on a ramp, working through the center line, even right and left. The pelvis is still, and we go out for circles. We circle into the powerhouse first, and the lower that we work our legs, the harder they're working. Let the springs carry the legs up. Work strongly through the center line as you return up, and at the top, we reverse and press down away from the powerhouse. Working long and around and away, working through the whole body, not just the legs, so everything working to hold and anchor us. And then coming all the way to the top, deepening the abdominals for walking. Walk in place first. So you can see that as we walk, the steps aren't really very big here. The pelvis is still, nothing moving except the legs. To advance this, we walk down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Catherine will continue this. We could walk down for 4 to 8 steps. And the trick is the length and opposition as well as the stability. So we always oppose from the powerhouse. Let's do one more rep, reaching long and pulling deeply back, and then coming up, even on the right, even on the left. And then making these a little bit bigger for scissors. And scissor the legs, keeping even tension on the springs, working through center line, deepening the abdominals, holding square and working both legs evenly, and then coming all the way back up with the legs together. Bend the knees in and press out for beats. The feet move apart and together, clapping from the inner thighs. The belly stays deep and the ribs down. We can now bring the knees in and go out to a little bit lower point. And again, clapping the feet for 8 beats. Together, together, together. The emphasis is into the center line. And then coming in and returning to our original position. And again, finishing the beats. Go ahead and take the springs off. I want to talk a little bit about how we sequence the leg series. If we're working with tighter bodies, it's really great to end with the scissors because it's going to leave your student open and flexible and supple feeling. If you're working with someone more flexible, like Catherine is, then we can end with beats to leave them a little more stable and strong. So sequence this in the best way for the individual or the group you're teaching.